Hey, welcome to a new video. On March 30th, 2025, metal detector enthusiasts Jacek Ukowski and Katarzyna Hercik were walking along a beach on the Baltic Sea in Poland when they stumbled upon something remarkable. Recent storms had caused a cliff to erode, scattering layers of clay-rich gravel across the shore. Buried in the gravel, they discovered an elaborately decorated dagger lodged in the clay, and immediately alerted the local museum of the history of Kamienska. The dagger dates back around 2,500 years to the early Iron Age, specifically the Hallstatt period. Remarkably well preserved, it features a 9.5-inch or 24-centimeter blade and a handle adorned with a pointed pommel and finely engraved patterns, including crescent shapes, star-like crosses, and intricate lines, possibly with celestial symbolism. Experts consider it one of the most valuable finds of its kind in Poland, a true masterpiece of metalwork. However, the dagger's purpose remains a mystery. Some believe it was used in solar cult rituals, while others think it belonged to a wealthy warrior, or may have even been a luxury import from Southern Europe.
Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
In September 2022, a strange kayak-sized unmanned vessel washed ashore near Sevastopol, home to Russia's main naval base on Crimea. Instead of inspecting it, Russian troops towed it back into the sea and blew it up, likely fearing it was armed with explosives. According to naval analyst H.I. Sutton, it was probably a kamikaze drone, designed to sneak up on and destroy warships. It skimmed just above the water, equipped with a camera, infrared sensors, a communications antenna, and bow-mounted proximity sensors to trigger the blast. Powered by a water jet engine, the drone could reach high speeds, and its appearance over 240 kilometers from Ukrainian territory suggested an impressive range. While the exact model remained unidentified, it closely resembled US-supplied unmanned surface vehicles. In April 2022, the US included such drones in an $800 million military aid package for Ukraine, and Ukrainian forces reportedly trained with them at Little Creek Base in Virginia. Though this drone was destroyed, its presence sends a chilling message. Russia's Black Sea Fleet must stay on high alert, because more invisible threats may be lurking just beneath the surface. On March 10, 2025, Paula and Dave Reagan were strolling along Margate Beach in Kent when they made a disturbing discovery. It was a calm, sunny day, and the beach was nearly empty. In the distance, they spotted what looked like driftwood or a seal, but upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a skeletal figure that eerily resembled a mermaid. The upper body looked humanoid, but with alien proportions. A large skull and hollow facial structure, while the lower half had a fishtail that felt rubbery, but not slimy or decayed. Some speculated it may have fallen from a ship or been a decorative ship's figurehead, like the carved mermaids of old sailing vessels. The bizarre object quickly drew attention from other beachgoers, sparking wild theories. Was it an art installation? A hoax? Many compared it to the infamous 19th century Fiji mermaid, a grotesque taxidermy mix of animal parts designed to fool the public. Whatever it was, it left behind an eerie impression. On October 25, 2023, mysterious patterns appeared in the sand of Broadhaven Beach, Wales, a location long associated with UFO sightings. Locals and tourists were stunned to see a massive design sprawled across the beach. At the center was a nearly 20 feet or 6 meter wide skull, surrounded by what looked like a coded script. The markings resembled hieroglyphs, but many elements appeared modern, or even alien. The sci-fi style formation was later revealed to be the work of Dr. Jonathan Melville from MIT, who challenged the public to decipher it before Halloween. While some symbols looked like Norse runes or Hindu mandalas, experts confirmed the script matched no known system. Rumors suggested Beavertown Brewery may have sponsored the installation as an experiment in alien communication. According to their research, 42% of Brits said they'd willingly make contact with extraterrestrials. Although clearly man-made, the eerie creation blurred the line between art, marketing, and modern mystery, leaving a lasting impression on all who saw it. In early 2025, a living oarfish was spotted in the shallow waters of Baja California, Sur, Mexico, a rare and unsettling event. These silver, ribbon-like creatures normally live deep below the ocean's surface and are almost never seen alive. With a long red dorsal fin running the length of their bodies, oarfish use wave-like movements to navigate the pitch-black depths. Since 1901, only 20 sightings have been recorded in California, almost all involving dead specimens that had washed ashore. In 2024, 3 such fish beached themselves in Southern California, giving scientists a chance to study a rare subspecies. According to Japanese folklore, the oarfish is a doomsday fish, believed to appear before major earthquakes. This legend gained traction after over 20 oarfish washed ashore shortly before the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. While science hasn't confirmed the link, some believe seismic activity disrupts their deep-sea habitat and drives them to the surface. Whether it's myth or warning, every appearance of this ghostly fish sends a shiver down the spine. In February 2025, Matt Boozy was walking near a Tesco in Sheerness, England, when he came across something massive and strange. Stretching over 20 feet or 6 meters long, the rust-covered metal pipe stood waist-high next to him, and Matt is 6 foot 2 inches, or 1.88 meters. One end had a heavy chain still attached, suggesting it was once part of a ship. The pipe was so wide a person could crawl through it, if they dared. Local residents speculated about its origin. Some believed it could be wreckage from the SS Richard Montgomery, a WWII-era American cargo ship that sank just 1.5 mile or 2.4 kilometers offshore. Others thought it may have come from a dredger, used to clear harbors and channels. The Coast Guard was alerted just after 10 a.m., but even they couldn't immediately identify the bizarre object. Whatever its origin, it served as a reminder that the sea occasionally returns what was once lost. Beaches along California's coast have recently been invaded by thousands of tiny, blue, jellyfish-like creatures known as Velella. Gabriel Speyer encountered a beach covered in them while swimming at Aquatic Park in San Francisco. Nicknamed by the wind sailors, these translucent, disc-shaped animals float on the ocean's surface, using small sails to ride the wind. They're related to the Portuguese man-o'-war, but their sting is much weaker and usually harmless to humans. Alive, they shimmer in electric shades of blue, purple, or indigo, turning brittle and nearly transparent once stranded on shore. Strong rainstorms and southerly winds are to blame for their mass beachings. Scientists also point to warming oceans caused by climate change, which may be increasing the frequency and scale of such events. Though small, these creatures offer a striking reminder that the ocean is changing, and the sudden appearance of thousands at once feels like a signal that something deeper may be out of balance. In summer 2023, beaches near Port Aransas, Texas, were suddenly littered with mysterious black rubber blocks. A park ranger from a nearby island preserve shared footage of one block partially exposed in the surf, drawing immediate attention. Unlike the usual piles of smelly seaweed, these objects had historical weight, literally. The rubber cargo dated back to 1944 and originally belonged to a Nazi blockade runner, the SS Rio Grande, which was sunk by U.S. warships during World War II. The ship carried valuable raw materials like copper, cobalt, tin, and crude rubber. After being spotted off Brazil's coast, it was bombed by the USS Omaha and USS Jewett. Since then, remnants of its cargo have occasionally washed ashore. Similar rubber blocks were found in 2022 on Padre Island National Seashore. These eerie relics of wartime still resurface decades later, a haunting reminder that history, like the sea, never really stays buried. In November 2024, beachgoers in Norfolk were stunned when a large, strange animal washed up on Clay Beach near Norwich. The dinosaur-like creature was mostly decomposed, with flippers, sharp teeth, and patches of remaining skin. It was roughly the size of a large deer or a small cow. Local baker Catherine Saberton Wright was the first to spot it, struck by its enormous jaw and eerie silhouette. While she often saw dead animals in rural Norfolk, she called this by far the strangest and largest she had ever encountered. Some locals compared it to the legendary Black Shuck, a demonic black dog said to haunt England's east coast. Marine biologist Rob Devil examined photos and believed it was likely a seal. However, the body was so decomposed that a definitive ID was impossible. The distorted shape made it resemble a prehistoric or mythical creature more than a seal. Wouldn't you agree? In August 2024, a bizarre marine creature washed up on St. Helens Beach near Geelong, Australia. The beach is usually quiet, but this unsettling find caused a stir. The creature was badly decomposed, with a missing eye socket and long, sharp spines jutting from its back, giving it a fearsome appearance. Jim, an environmentalist from North Geelong, discovered the carcass while walking her dogs. She estimated it was about as long as her arm, covered in spines and in poor condition. Due to its advanced decomposition, identification proved difficult. Marine biologist Lawrence Klebeck reviewed photos and noted that the spines were characteristic of a large teleost, a type of ray-finned fish with over 26,000 species. He speculated it might be a grouper or tuna, though the mystery remained.
In July 2023, a remarkable incident unfolded on the shores of an Australian beach, capturing the attention of both locals and experts. A massive metal dome had washed ashore, sparking speculation and curiosity about its origin and purpose. The mysterious object raised intriguing questions about its relationship to space exploration and even the infamous disappearance of Flight MH370. Authorities labeled the colossal metal dome as potentially hazardous and warned people to keep their distance. Some believe that the dome may have once been a crucial component of a rocket used for space exploration. One prominent theory suggested a connection between the dome and India's satellite launch missions. It was thought to resemble a fuel tank from the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle rocket, which India had successfully launched in April of that year. The dimensions of the rocket dome were approximately 8 feet or 2.5 meters wide and 10 feet or 3 meters tall, matching the characteristics of a fuel tank used in such launches. However, others speculated that it might have been part of an aircraft. The discovery led to comparisons with the MH370 flight, which had disappeared almost a decade earlier in 2014. At the beginning of 2023, a mysterious metal ball washed up on Enshu Beach in the city of Hamamatsu, Japan. The large iron ball had a diameter of about 60 inches, or 1.5 meters, and experts who examined the object using X-ray technology determined that it was hollow. Fortunately, this meant that it wasn't a stray mine, but something else. Local media speculated heavily about the origin of the metal ball, but authorities admitted they had no idea what it was or where it came from. The discovery caused days of speculation, with various theories circulating about its possible purpose and origin. Experts from various fields examined the object to determine what it was made of, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Despite being hollow, its dark metallic surface and size suggested something extraterrestrial and mysterious. As expected, speculation ran rampant, from aliens to top-secret government experiments to remnants of a meteorite. However, there was no concrete evidence leading to the thought that the ball might have come from space. When a local woman in Mazatlan in western Mexico first came across this sea monster, she initially thought it was a piece of rope. Upon further investigation, she discovered it was a sea monster. The creature's dead eyes stared at her, and its teeth also looked quite terrifying. The strange thing is that the creature was never officially identified. Some claim it was an eel or a sea serpent, but neither theory have been confirmed.
In 2004, people from Malappuram in Tamil Nadu, India noticed something that looked like an ancient city just after a tsunami hit the city. 10 years later, researchers learned that the buildings that emerged from the sea were parts of an ancient port that had been swallowed by the sea. But the archaeologists found more, including a wall 33 feet or 10 meters long, a short staircase and blocks that could be seen all over the bottom of the sea. The discovery was found near the shoreline at a depth of about 26 feet or 8 meters.
Get ready to be amazed by the recent viral sensation originating from the sandy shores of Galveston, Texas. In an enchanting encounter, a beachgoer captured the internet's attention with photos showcasing a peculiar creature emerging from the depths of the sandy beach. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department identified the intriguing visitor as a shrimp eel, typically residing in the muddy waters of bays and inlets. The online community erupted in a mix of amazement, humor, and even conspiracy theories in response to the shrimp eel's appearance. Everything from saying it would have given them the creeps to referring to them as aliens. Shrimp eels typically have slender, snake-like bodies, distinguished by their broad snouts and 2 to 3 irregular rows of teeth. Their coloring can range from dark gray or black to vibrant yellow, adding to their allure. Interestingly, these eels, if swallowed whole by another fish, are known for their burrowing instincts and making a bold escape attempt from the stomach of a predator. Yeah, you heard that right. They dig their way out of the stomach of the one who just ate them. Pretty weird, huh? A rare fossil was discovered in Alberta, Canada that dates back to an era before the rise of the dinosaurs. The Orbates papsti belongs to a group of ancient reptiles called synapsids. The fossil is estimated to be around 309 million years old and is one of the oldest reptile fossils ever found. It's so well preserved that it still shows traces of the soft tissue and organic compounds of the original creature. Scientists say that they've been able to use it to reconstruct a detailed replica of the creature's skeletal and muscle structures. This provides valuable insight into the biomechanics of the animal and how it can move. Another fascinating feature of the fossil is the fact that it was preserved in excellent condition due to being found in a swampy area with low oxygen levels. This made it possible for the creature to be preserved for millions of years, which is incredibly rare.
The Utaklev Beach in Norway is called the most romantic beach in Europe. At night, you can admire the aurora borealis from the beach. In addition, the area has beautiful coastlines and a vast grassland where you can stay overnight at a campsite. So at first, it doesn't really look like a dangerous beach, but since it's located near the Lofoten Islands, north of the Arctic Circle, you can therefore guess that it's incredibly cold there. The weather here is very fickle, but the average temperature fluctuates between 46 and 57 degrees Fahrenheit, or 8 and 14 degrees Celsius, all year round. So it's not really advisable to swim here because of the risk of hypothermia. If you do want to visit this place, make sure you bring a coat. In a fascinating twist of events, a mysterious object emerged from the sands of Daytona Beach shores in Florida. The unusual discovery, believed to be a combination of wood and metal, was unearthed due to the unprecedented erosion caused by hurricanes Ian and Nicole. Authorities in Volusia County who examined the object have stated that such level of erosion had not been observed in the region for at least 25 years. The approximately 79-foot or 24-meter-long structure that was exposed is the result of powerful hurricanes. Tamara Molfers, a spokeswoman for Volusia County, acknowledged that they are uncertain about the nature and origin of the object. Numerous theories have emerged online, speculating that it could be a shipwreck, remnants of an old pier, or even seating from NASCAR's historic beach races. However, no official confirmation has been released regarding the identity of the object. The challenge authorities now face is how to fully excavate the object, as shifting tides cause it to be submerged during high water, making it difficult to access.
The mysterious nature of mermaids has captivated humanity for centuries, but what if these beings are more than just figments of our imagination? A recent discovery of a possible mermaid skeleton on Liverpool Beach has left people scratching their heads. People around the world began to debate who the skeleton belonged to. It appeared on the beach overnight, and experts have been unable to determine its origin. While many videos of mermaids circulate on the internet, it has never been proven that they actually existed. Some people believe in them, while others say they're simply manatees or sea cows. The mermaid skeleton found on the beach looks like a human-like figure with a long tail. Could it be a real mermaid? Some think it could be an unknown fish species. What do you think?
After a tsunami in Japan, two people discovered that the ocean had washed up something strange on the beach. When this unexplained ball was encountered, people quickly got chills down their spines. Even when the creature was gently touched, it did not respond. Believe it or not, but according to experts, this creature was thought to have come from a sea sponge. The theory claims that the sea sponge was ripped off a reef and washed up on the beach. Sea sponges are common in Japan and can reach gigantic sizes, and they also have fascinating geometric patterns. On January 9, 2017, the inhabitants of the German Wadden island of Langeoog were surprised to find tens of thousands of colored children's surprise eggs scattered all over the beach. It was probably caused by a cargo ship sailing from China to a German port. So because of the storm, they lost a lot of children's surprises that have been found back on the island. Ecologists were not too happy about this, because it would seriously damage the environment and wildlife. So people of the island literally had to clean up everything as quick as possible. The children even helped with this too, and they didn't mind looking for eggs and thereby also helping the environment. However, this is not the first time that something has been washed up on this island. Some toys, plastic bags, and even furniture have been found. Because this happens quite often, the residents of the island have taken matters into their own hands to keep the beach clean. As many know, in 2012, a tsunami hit Japan, and it was so massive that a large floating dock was washed up on the shore of Agat Beach near Newport, Oregon. It was a 180-ton dock, and workers from the Oregon Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks had used various equipments to clean the dock and rid it of invasive marine animals and other plants that had formed on the dock. We can only imagine the power of the tsunami when a 180-ton floating dock washed up all the way on the beach. In November 2015, while walking on the beach at Broadchurch in Eastern Australia, a woman named Lucinda Fry found a strange creature with a bluish color.
The sea monster was a few inches or centimeters tall and was floundering in the sand. She made a video of it and posted it on Facebook. Here it became clear as to what exactly it was. The Glaucus atlanticus is a type of floating sea slug. You might think, why didn't she pick up the little animal to put it back in the sea? Fortunately, she didn't, because the animal, which is also known as the blue dragon, is very dangerous. It absorbs the venom of Australian sea wasps, a poisonous species of jellyfish. The mollusk is immune to the poison and uses it as a protective mechanism against other marine animals. The reason why it was washed up on the beach is still unclear, but it probably has to do with the time of the year.
In February of the year 2020, local residents found a strange dolphin-like sea creature on a beach in Mexico. When its picture was posted on social media, many people had no idea what exactly the creature could have been. The creature that washed up on the shore before their eyes was one that the history books never mentioned. The bizarre sea creature had a tail similar to that of an eel or a snake, but its body was more like that of a dolphin. In addition to a dolphin-like head, its jaws showed sharp teeth. Upon further examination of the body, things became even more creepy. The creature had no flippers, but that's not all. Because it also had no eyes, like at all. That means it probably must have come from the extreme depths of the Pacific Ocean, where there's no light and no need for eyes. But if so, how did it end up on the beach? What do you think? North Korea recently showcased its military might be conducting the largest military exercise ever held to commemorate the founding of the country's army. Live fire exercises took place in the Wonsan region in the eastern part of the country. A North Korean government official later stated the event marked the country's largest military exercise to date, featuring an impressive display of 300 artillery cannons. The order to commemorate the demonstration came directly from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Massive self-propelled cannons with large calibers were strategically positioned along the coast, and they all fired simultaneously. It's worth noting that military exercises, including displays of power, are not uncommon for North Korea, especially on significant occasions like the Day of the Armed Forces. The celebration marked the 85th anniversary of the founding of the North Korean Army. The timing of these exercises gained added significance due to the recent reinforcement of the United States military presence in the region. Through these exercises, North Korea aims to remind its adversaries that it's capable of inflicting significant damage. When something like a thresher shark washes up on the beach, you have to wonder where exactly they live in the ocean. Although they sometimes swim close to the surface of the water, they are rarely seen that close to the beaches. In fact, they are so rare that this find was considered lucky, and information gathered about this mysterious creature. This shark with eyes the size of dinner plates found its way to New Zealand beach. And yes, the shark's tail not only looks dangerous, but is also used to stun prey underwater. Some Japanese people believe that giant oarfish washing up on beaches can warn people of coming tsunamis. Some people believe it, others don't. But in 2010, there were 7 giant oarfish washed up near the shore, scaring many people. But oarfish were also washed up on beaches in other years, and tsunamis ravaged Japan a few weeks after it. These species of fish can be extremely large, reaching up to 36 feet or 11 meters in length. Scientists assume that the fish come to the surface when they sense a tsunami approaching. Do you believe in this theory or not? Let me know in the comments. A sinkhole is a geological phenomenon that can occur when the surface layer of the Earth collapses. But to find a sinkhole near a beach is quite rare. In 2021, nature demonstrated its impressive power in the form of a huge sinkhole that appeared on a popular beach in Queensland, Australia. It's believed that the unstable coastal geology and extreme weather conditions caused this. What started as a small opening grew into a massive chasm about 500 feet or 150 meters wide, to the amazement of the locals. While scientists and geologists quickly arrived on the scene to investigate the cause, tourists flocked to the beach to see it. Eventually, the cause was identified as a coastal landslide, likely caused by heavy rainfall and storm surges. The beach is a popular tourist attraction, and the fact that a sinkhole can open up on the beach is quite frightening, don't you think? Many people like to go to the beach in the summer, but you'll probably change your mind when you find out that 500,000 other people had the same idea that day. This is Demisha Beach, one of the largest beaches in Shenzhen in China. It was officially opened in 1999, and since then it's attracted a large number of people every summer.
As a result, this beach is known as the most overcrowded beach in the world. Due to the crowds, it's easy to get lost or to find your friends and family again. Therefore, it's not recommended to let children play in the water alone. With so many people, the beach will also quickly become polluted. Think, for example, of waste from food and drink to inflatable toys. Would you want to go to this beach if it was so crowded? Let me know in the comments. Take a look at this mysterious doll that washed ashore on Cape Canaveral Beach in Florida. The doll, made from coconuts, caught the attention of a beachgoer, Bruce Robertson. The doll, made from coconuts, caught the attention of beachgoer Bruce Robertson due to its unusual features. It had human teeth, snakeskin, and feathers on its arms and legs. Bruce was told by other beachgoers that it was likely a voodoo doll and needed to be destroyed. However, after doing some research, he concluded that the doll actually represented an African spider god named Anansi, used by slaves from Ghana for luck and protection. Michelle Davis, the owner of an African bookstore in Cocoa, disagreed with Bruce's interpretation. She found the doll creepy and believed it had human skin. She speculated that it could have been part of a voodoo ritual and emphasized that voodoo is still practiced in various places around the world. In 2018, a mysterious object washed up on the beach along the coast of Australia, leaving military researchers puzzled. The beach, often visited by Air Force personnel, suddenly became the scene of a confusing discovery. The object, which is made of metal and has a round shape, is covered in symbols and markings that have yet to be deciphered. To this day, the exact nature of it remains a mystery. There are rumors that some military officials had to keep their lips sealed about this bizarre find. However, some reports suggest that the object may be connected to classified military operations. The limited information about the Air Force beach mystery makes it difficult to determine what exactly it was, and the lack of transparency from military officials has only led to speculation. Nevertheless, some theories suggest that the object may be related to classified military technology. Others even suggest that it could be a part of a larger conspiracy or cover-up. When you see a giant squid in real life, the myth of the kraken no longer seems to be so far-fetched. The largest known to us was a whopping 40 feet, or 12 meters long. This next giant squid landed on a beach near Wellington, New Zealand, in August 2018. A group of the 3 people had previously found sharks in the same area, but this was the first time a giant squid had washed up. Giant squid are creatures that live very deep in the ocean, so it remains a bit of a mystery of how this giant squid washed up on the beach.
This mysterious creature that appears to have no eyes was found on a beach in Texas, after Hurricane Harvey had hit the state. The sea monster's huge, and scientists assume it came from the depths of the ocean. Besides having no eyes, its mouth is full of razor-like teeth. It's believed that it was a fang-toothed snake eel that is usually found in waters between 100 and 300 feet, or 30 and 90 meters deep. Sea monsters like this one will certainly make you wonder what else is hiding in our oceans. In 2014, on an Australian beach in Sydney, a pile of alien spongy green balls had washed up on the shore. Visitors who were nearby wondered why hundreds of these strange things were suddenly appearing. One of the local residents had picked up one and said it felt like a spongy ball. Scientists also call it alien balls. What it eventually turned out to be was a rare manifestation of algae, called marumo. Why the algae grew in the shape of a ball is unknown. There's also only been a handful of sightings, mostly in lakes or rivers. They would grow in colonies and would be found mainly in Iceland, Scotland, and Japan. Because of its unusual shape, it would often serve as an aquarium plant. It's still unclear how the balls ended up on the WWII beach in Australia.
It's one thing to discover a sea creature that washes ashore, but it's quite another to discover a complete World War II fighter plane. In the early 2020s, a sand shift exposed a fighter plane on the beach in Britain. A couple who decided to spend a day at the beach found this wreckage. For about 45 minutes, the couple examined the wreckage and took a lot of pictures, as any curious person would. After they went home, the magnitude of what they had found dawned on them. They had in fact discovered a missing World War II plane. The British Royal Air Force Museum was called in, and they confirmed that it was a Bristol Bowfighter TF that had crashed in April 1944. The fighter was from the Royal Air Force, and it was 76 years old. Surely, this must have been a trip to the beach that they won't soon forget. Brian Daniel, a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist, claims to have discovered an extraterrestrial underwater base near a beach. His assertion came after he found an extraterrestrial body washed ashore, which he insists is of non-human origin. He even shared footage showing government officials seemingly removing what appeared to be an extraterrestrial being from the beach. According to Brian's claims, the so-called base is purportedly located off the coast of Greece and can even be found on Google Maps. He further asserted that upon closer examination, the underwater base reveals a distinctive 26-foot or 8-meter long opening in the middle. According to Brian, this enigmatic facility serves as a refuge for unidentified flying objects. However, this is not the first time Brian has ventured into the realm of extraterrestrial conspiracies. He has previously claimed to have tracked an object from space and has suggested that these extraterrestrial beings have been lurking in our oceans all along. For several years, mysterious tarballs have been causing unrest on beaches around the world. From Manhattan Beach in California to the Mediterranean coast of Israel, these tarballs have become a plague for both the environment and humans. Tarballs are hard, sticky lumps of tar that can wash up on beaches. They are usually dark brown or black in color and can vary in size from 0.2 inches to several inches, or a few millimeters to several centimeters. Additionally, they can pose a danger to animals and the environment as they contain toxic chemicals. In May 2015, tarballs washed up on Manhattan Beach, leading to the closure of the beach while cleanup crews were at work. The source of the tarballs was traced back to an oil leak believed to have originated from a pipeline leak. But this was not the only time tarballs were found. In 2023, a huge amount of tarballs were found on the coastline of Israel, serving as a stark reminder of the devastating impact oil spills have on the environment. The area had been hit by one of the worst environmental disasters in the country's history. The leak is believed to have originated from a ship about 50 kilometers or 30 miles offshore during a storm. Be careful if you see them on a beach, as tarballs are highly toxic and can cause serious health problems upon contact with the skin.
Tsunamis are dangerous not only for people and animals living on the surface, but also for inhabitants of the seafloor. Storm Emma, which struck the Irish coast on March 4, 2018, hit a beach in Kent, England. Witnesses who came to the shore after the storm were shocked to see a huge graveyard of all sea creatures. Starfish, crabs, and other sea creatures washed up, shocking the locals.
Hawaii is an archipelago belonging to the United States and is known for its beautiful beaches and its volcanoes. However, these beaches are black, and this is mainly due to the Kilauea volcano, one of the most active volcanoes on the island. These beaches were formed by the cooled lava from the eruptions of the volcanoes. The most popular black sand beach is Punalu's Beach. Tourists who want to swim in the water are advised to wear water shoes because the black sand gets hot quickly. Also, there would be strong currents from time to time, making the water unsafe. The biggest reason, of course, are the volcanoes in the area that can erupt at any time. So this is definitely something to think about before you decide to book your next vacation to Hawaii. While walking their dog, Melanie and her husband Mike stumbled upon the carcass of an enormous creature. Enormous is actually an understatement. This thing was over 11 feet long. This event took place in 2016, and the couple, who have 2 children, were used to seeing creatures like jellyfish wash up on the shore. However, this was no jellyfish. Initially, Melanie mistook the colossal remains for a piece of driftwood, but she soon realized it was an animal due to the presence of thousands of flies around it. Melanie has since speculated about the identity of the mysterious creature and suggested it could be a whale. However, the theory was dismissed because whales don't typically wash ashore in the area that this was found. A new theory suggested that it might be the remains of a dinosaur. To this day, nobody knows what this is or how it ended up there. The creature has been given a name though, the Beast of Port Talbot. The discovery of a stranded German submarine from World War I on Hastings Beach in England has left many historians baffled. The appearance of the lost submarine has become the center of intense national and international attention, with people wondering where it came from. According to the story, the submarine was intentionally beached by the crew after mechanical problems arose. They could not return to their home port, so they left the submarine in the ocean. When it was discovered on the beach, it was quickly dismantled to prevent it from becoming a tourist attraction. However, many people were fascinated by its unique design and history. The story of the discovery has largely been forgotten over time. Details surrounding the submarine's journey, however, remain a mystery. As why did they sink the submarine, and where did all the passengers go? The Trunco globster is the name of an unidentified organic mass that washed up on the shoreline in Margate, South Africa in 1924. Its story is wild from start to finish. Trunco was reportedly seen fighting with 2 orcas. The man who saw him thought it was a polar bear at first. He also saw him come out of the water and attack the orcas with his tail. 3 hours later, the orcas left, and Trunco drifted towards the beach. According to eyewitnesses, the creature would have been as much as 46 feet tall, 46 feet or 14 meters long. Its 1 meter long trunk gave its nickname, Trunco. 10 days later, however, a tidal wave washed him back into the ocean.
We can only imagine how the people of Scotland freaked out in 1808, when they saw a huge six-legged monster on the beach after the storm subsided a bit off the coast of Orkney, Scotland. Eyewitnesses claim that the beast resembled a large snake with 6 legs and an incredibly long neck. According to those who saw the monster, it was nearly 56 feet or 17 meters in length. Some people believe that this might have been the Loch Ness Monster, but unfortunately, there's not much information available about it. A man named Kevin was chilling on the beach in the Bahamas with his friends, when suddenly they saw something big lying in the sand. What they had found was a part of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that had washed up on the beach on the island of Elbow Cay. When they went to take a closer look, they saw that the part was covered in barnacles. Then they saw 2 GoPro cameras that were still working. After this, Kevin sent a tweet to Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, where Elon replied and thanked him for his discovery. This isn't the first time a part of the rocket has been found. A part of the rocket had also been found in North Carolina. The object was about 10 to 20 feet or 3 to 6 meters in size, and was discovered at a popular tourist spot along the Outer Banks, an island in Cape Hatteras on the east coast of the United States. Last year, as many as 114 rockets were fired into space, so it could be that some more will wash ashore.
The megalodon is a species of shark that is thought to have gone extinct 2.6 million years ago, although there are those who believe that the megalodon is still swimming around in the depths of the ocean. However, megalodon teeth are found from time to time. One such case was by a young girl named Avery, who was relaxing with her family on a beach in Topside, North Carolina, USA. Her father had taken them to pursue his 20-plus-year-old hobby of searching for megalodon teeth. Megalodon teeth are a special find, considering that the megalodon went extinct a long time ago, and the tooth Avery found was also millions of years old. But as I mentioned earlier, they are sometimes found more often. 130 kilometers away, a man named Harvey saw a glint of something dark in the sand. When he turned it over, he saw that it was an entire megalodon tooth, said to be over 3 million years old.
Patricia, a resident of Texas, shared the following image on April 13th on Facebook after a friend came across the mysterious creature along Bolivar Beach. Unable to identify the fish, Patricia turned to the internet for help, resulting in a flood of comments and speculations. The photo showed a creature adorned with numerous teeth and bumps, leading some to liken it to an alien. Those curious about the photo in the Facebook group endeavored to unravel the identity of the creature. When news media reached out to government agencies for answers, it shed light on the mysterious find. According to them, the creature in question is believed to be the gills and gills arches of a fish that was likely caught and filleted by someone. Although the exact species could not be identified, it was thought to be a large sport fish. The feather-like structures seen in the photo were identified as the gills, which are connected to the bony gill arches. These are the same waters where a month earlier, someone captured a viral video of an alligator walking along the beach shoreline.
In the era of space exploration, we all want to make contact with extraterrestrial life. But what if that contact happens closer to home than we expected? Meet the alien hand, recently discovered on a beach in Wisconsin, USA. A group of friends were walking along the coastline and enjoying a beautiful day when they stumbled upon a bizarre skeletal hand. At first, they thought it was a Halloween prop, but upon closer inspection, they realized they had discovered something truly extraordinary. The skeletal hand made headlines worldwide, and people were in a frenzy over the possibility of a discovery of alien life. Whether it's a lost species or a natural wonder, we still don't know. What do you think the boys on the beach had found? Let us know in the comments.
The Amazon rainforest covers an area of 4.8 million square miles, or 7.7 million square kilometers, and a variety of wild animals live here. But the Amazon also has hundreds of sandy beaches, and in the water you can find green anacondas, piranhas, electric eels, and even bull sharks. But also the candiru, a parasitic fish that can invade the human body. There's also pesky mosquitoes flying around that carry diseases like malaria that can endanger your life. So it goes without saying that these beaches are best to be skipped. Or at least think about it carefully before you decide to visit the Amazon rainforest. If we were to tell you that a regular cross had washed up on the shore, you probably wouldn't attach much significance to this incident. But take a look at the size of this cross.
This massive painted wooden cross mysteriously washed ashore at the Ocean Manor Beach Resort in Fort Lauderdale, completely adorned with barnacles. The cross, which was over 20 feet long, left both the local residents and visitors in awe, leading to speculations about its origin and meaning. The origin of the cross is a subject of debate, with various theories emerging. Some have suggested that it might have come from Puerto Rico, while others mention the nearby Florida Keys as a possible origin. Frank, the owner of the resort, interpreted the arrival of the cross as a sign of protection and considered it as divine intervention. He revealed that his sister had been on the beach that day, fervently praying due to a troubling dream. Frank decided to preserve the cross at the resort, and visitors are now welcome to view it and take pictures with it. However, to ensure its safety, Frank arranged the cross to be moved farther from the shoreline. This endeavor required the combined efforts of 7 individuals and 2 SUVs to transport the massive object higher up on the sandy beach. Some people believe the cross may have once belonged to an old pirate ship, and possibly served as a supporting structure for hoisting sails. A fierce predator occupying a beach is already a pretty disturbing sight, but how about thousands of crocodiles on a beach in Brazil, causing even the local population to panic? Although the exact reason for their presence on the beach remains unknown, experts suggest that the crocodiles might have migrated from nearby swamp areas to avoid harsh climatic conditions or to find more hospitable breeding grounds. The potential danger of so many crocodiles in one place cannot be underestimated. Authorities are working hard to control the crocodile population and ensure the safety of the local population and tourists. However, it's a difficult task when such a large number of crocodiles are present on the beach. How often does a sea monster with a beak and a furry tail appear on the beach? Not often, but according to several articles, this is how a mysterious sea monster washed up along the east coast of Russia. The prevailing theory is that it's a rare species of dolphin, one that has never been seen before. Even experts think that it's a very strange creature, as dolphins don't normally have fur. They also doubt that it lives in the waters near the beach, or that it was simply washed up by the warm currents.
The 2012 Superstorm Sandy that hit New Jersey's beaches killed many people and destroyed a huge amount of buildings. But somehow, 57 love letters from World War II were recovered that were tied together with pink ribbons. The letters were discovered by a woman walking her dogs along the Henry Hudson Trail. The next day after the storm. The woman revealed that the letters were written between the year 1942 and 1947, and she even managed to find the love couple's family and return the letters to them. In December 2016, a woman named Melissa Doubleday found a giant alien-like object that was full of barnacles. It had washed up on a beach on New Zealand's North Island. She took a picture of it and uploaded it to Facebook, asking what it was. Some people thought it could be part of a sunken boat, while others said it was the work of aliens. Other people arrived with theories about it being a new kind of sea monster. After some investigation, it turned out to be just a piece of driftwood covered in stalked barnacles or gooseneck barnacles, which are basically crustaceans attached to hard surfaces of rocks and wreckage. Then again, if you were to encounter this for the first time, you might also think it was an alien-like monster, right?
What's the last thing you'd expect to find on a beach? You'll probably never have thought of some ancient tombstones. But this happened in June 2012, when the sand, due to a strong wind, exposed some creepy tombstones on the shore of Ocean Beach in San Francisco, USA. One of the tombstones in question was almost completely intact, bearing the date of death of April 26, 1890. Tombstones are meant to last literally an eternity, and it's questionable how exactly this one ended up on the beach. However, this tombstone, along with thousands of others, was removed from city cemeteries in the early 20th century to make way for new construction projects. The stones were used as landfills, and some were simply dumped into San Francisco Bay. Still, you'll be surprised if you come across a tombstone on the beach, rather than in a cemetery, don't you think? A group of friends was relaxing on a beach in New Zealand when suddenly an orca was spotted near the coast. What makes it eerie is that the orca came alarmingly close, causing everyone to run out of the water. However, one of the most common shark species in New Zealand is the bronze whaler shark. These sharks are known for their preference for coastal habitats and are often spotted near shorelines, especially in the summer when they follow schools of fish closer to the coast. Other shark species found in New Zealand waters include the great white shark. Great white sharks roam the coastal areas of New Zealand and are responsible for dozens of accidents each year. What would your reaction be if you saw a shark fin sticking out of the water? Or have you experienced this before? Let me know in the comments. While everyone has vomited at some point, it's not typically valuable. But when it comes to whales, that's a different story. The vomit of whales can actually fetch a tremendous amount of money. In September 2021, a fisherman found a 66-pound or 30-kilogram lump of ambergris, also known as whale vomit, on a beach in Surat Thani province in South Thailand. Ambergris is a rare and valuable substance produced by whales and is an ingredient to luxury perfumes. The lump that the man found would have been worth more than $1 million, which was a life-changing discovery for the fisherman. Ambergris is produced in the digestive system of whales and is believed to form in response to sharp beaks of the squids they eat. It can float in the ocean for years before washing up on beaches. Over time, ambergris develops a unique scent due to exposure to sunlight and salt water, making it highly sought after by perfume sellers. While the exact value of ambergris is difficult to determine, it's generally considered one of the most expensive things in the world, with prices ranging from a few hundred to thousands of dollars per gram.
The Ponani Beach was created as a result of a volcanic eruption. This beach is located in Malappuram, Kerala, which is in India, and quickly became a popular tourist destination. When it rained heavily in 2018, a narrow strip of sand was created by Mother Nature almost a mile or a kilometer long. So no, it wasn't Moses who caused the sea to be split in two. As you could guess, everyone wanted to experience this natural phenomenon up close and immediately. However, the authorities were concerned about people's safety. After all, the beach is known for its rough waters and unpredictable high tides. Unfortunately, in 2009, someone drowned while venturing onto the sand strip. The sand strip may look beautiful, but even the locals warn people to be careful when they decide to go into the water.
The largest manta ray ever caught was in 1920. It had an incredible length of 30 feet, or 9 meters. These ocean monsters looked extraterrestrial, but unfortunately their population is threatened. The reason is because they often get caught in fishermen's nets. In some cases, they are also washed up on the beach. In this video, we see people rescuing a giant manta ray that became entangled in fishing nets. Unfortunately, there are also cases where they are caught by fishermen. However, this giant manta ray looked heavy enough to overturn the boat and was about 16 to 23 feet, or 5 to 7 meters long.
Japan is one of the most tsunami-affected countries, and therefore the most incredible things have been found there. In 2011, a Japanese beach was devastated by a tsunami, and after everything went down, people found a strange object the next day that made them scratch their heads. The monster was filmed on camera, and you can wonder what exactly this would be. One of the men who were there said it was better to not get too close, because no one knew if it was dangerous or not. What do you think they found here? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever found something strange on the beach? If so, what was it? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.